Hey guys, Halford here, and today I've got my predictions for WWE Clash of Champions, taking place this Sunday, September 25th. Before we get to that, however, I want to both thank everyone who watched my Backlash prediction video, and at the same time, apologize to them. It was my first attempt at recording myself speaking completely off the cuff, having nothing written beforehand, and it really showed, and not in a good way. But better news, I was correct on 4 out of 6 of my Backlash predictions, which puts me at a score of 66.6%. No, your boy Halford is not in cahoots with Satan. If I were to sell my soul, it would be for something way cooler than wrestling prediction skills. Maybe a pot of infinite craft dinner, or a liver that'll never fail me as a result of my binge-drinking ways. But enough rambling. This Sunday, it's the Raw brand's first crack at the new era of brand-exclusive pay-per-view events, and we're all waiting with bated breath to see if they'll do just as good of a job as their SmackDown counterparts. At the time of this recording, we have a 7-match main card, with one additional match slated for the pre-show. This comes on the heels of Backlash having only 6 matches on their main card, and it makes me feel slightly concerned that some of the matches this Sunday may be rushed for time. While Backlash had fewer matches, they all felt really important. None of them were rushed, each one hitting or surpassing the 10-minute mark, and having a chance to tell a good story. Let's hope that Raw does the same and cuts out the filler segments in favor of a leaner, match-centric show. So, predictions now, and I'm going to get the easy 2 out of the way first. Those being Alicia Fox vs. Nia Jax on the pre-show, and Cesaro vs. Sheamus in the final match of their best-of-7 series. Putting these as briefly as I can, big Amazonian woman crushes tiny crazy girl, and Cesaro channels the 1975 New York Islanders and completes the 4-match comeback from being down 3-0. The stories of both of these matches are about building momentum for Jax and Cesaro, and giving either of their opponents the W would bring that momentum to a screeching, unpleasant halt. Unless the creative team wants to give Sheamus major heel heat by squashing Cesaro's comeback, but I really hope not. Mick Foley has promised big things for the winner of this series, and can you imagine Sheamus being thrust into the current main event scene of Raw, with Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the like? It'd be like that guy who turns up at a party blitzed and then pukes on everybody's feet. So, moving on to the matches that took some actual thought to predict their outcomes, and we start with Sami Zayn vs. Chris Jericho. Once again, it seems to me that Y2J is doing what he is currently the best at, getting into another short feud in which he can have a few great matches and make the new guy in town look like $1 million. Combined with his current heel persona, it's like having a license to print money. He's done it with Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, and now it's Sami Zayn's turn. In the vein of those previous feuds, I expect Jericho to get the first big win here, thanks to some devious heel tactics, but to lose the eventual blow-off match of this feud, possibly in a real classic at Survivor Series in November. Now we get to the matches that are this show's namesake, the championship matches. All 5 belts that Raw has to offer will be competed for, and those matches are Roman Reigns vs. Rusev for the United States title, TJ Perkins defending the brand new Cruiserweight title against Brian Kendrick, Gallows and Anderson vs. The New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles, a triple threat between Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte for the Raw Women's title, which I've realized as I'm recording this is a goddamn terrible name for a title. I mean, I understand that you want each show to have its own women's division, and it works calling the champ on SmackDown the SmackDown Women's Champion, but just say this out loud to yourself. Raw Women's Champion. So the winner becomes the champion of Raw Women? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but to me it sounds weird and kind of dirty, and I don't like it. And finally, in the main event, we have Seth Rollins vs. Kevin Owens for the WWE Universal title. So I gave it some thought, and I came to the quick realization that the majority of these titles have one thing in common: brand new title holders. As of Sunday, September 25th, Owens will have been Universal Champion for 27 days, Perkins, who has yet to even appear on an episode of Monday Night Raw, will have been Cruiserweight Champion for 11 days, and Charlotte will have been the champion of Raw Women for 35 days. Now, when you think about it, what is the thing most often accused of making a title feel less valuable? short title reigns. Seeing a title change hands over and over in rapid succession like a $5 bill makes them feel less like prestigious prizes to be fought for. And do you really think that WWE is going to let that happen to these 3 sparkling new titles that are all in their infancy? No. So, I'm making a bold blanket prediction right now. On this show, this night focused on champions and championships, you will only see one title change hands, when Roman Reigns captures the United States title from Rusev. Now, put down the pitchforks. I know it's not a popular decision, but it's the only title change I can logically see happening at this point in time. The New Day will retain the tag titles because a change now would just be underwhelming, especially with some of the god-awful promo work that's been done in the build-up to this match. Gallows and Anderson just don't feel like a legitimate threat at this time. Perkins will retain because what quicker way can you think of to shovel a whole mountain of shit onto a guy than by having him drop a title that he's held for under 2 weeks in his main roster debut match, which is also on a pay-per-view? He'll pick up a hard-fought win over Kendrick, whose name value makes him a good first opponent to help establish the new champion. Charlotte will retain in the women's triple threat for the time being, because it would plant the seeds of making the women look like incapable champions if they can't hold the title for longer than a month. We don't need a UFC situation on our hands where the competition keeps knocking off the champion before they can even get in a single successful title defense. It was bad enough that they had to take the title off of Sasha due to injury, which I'm assuming is why they did, because it would have been dumb as hell to take it off of her so soon for any other reason. And Kevin Owens will retain the Universal title due to Triple H showing up and once again screwing over Seth Rollins, because we really need that storyline to start showing some signs of progression after no sign of the game on Raw since costing Rollins the title in the first place. That, coupled with wanting to build the title's legitimacy through long title reigns, is why I think that Owens will still be champion when the night is done. Roman Reigns is the only one that I can see becoming a new champion on Sunday, and by doing so, it gives him something to do that keeps him out of the main event scene. Which is what everybody wants, isn't it? So now we come to drinking game rules, and there are only 2 this time around, because trust me, that's all we're gonna need. As always, down your drink for any surprise returns or debuts, and take 1 drink for every mention of the words champion, championship, or title. You're welcome. So that's all from me. Be sure to let me know your Clash of Champions predictions in the comment section below, and give us a like and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. My name is PK Halford, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.